task requires you to write a detailed action plan. This is a plan of action that's going to help you to set your own goals and then to consider certain obstacles that might get in the way and how you might overcome this. A good action plan also gives yourself a timeline of when you want to achieve your goals. By setting out good, achievable goals and laying this out in black and white, it's going to help you to have a real good focus and for you to be able to achieve those goals. For the purpose of this task, I'd strongly encourage you to consider a job role within the industry that we've been studying to help you have that area of focus. So even if it's not necessarily the field that you actually do want to work in as you get older, it's going to really help for this task if you consider a job role or a business idea directly linked to the craft that you've been studying. So this might be craft, creative craft. The first thing I would suggest you do is think about what your end goal would be. Within that creative industry, what would your dream role be? Now, it might be that you have an idea of a job that you'd like to do, working for somebody else, and that's absolutely fine. It might be that your ambitions are to start your own business and you've got an idea for a service or a concept for a product that you'd like to actually develop one day. Whatever it is, having that in mind before you start then creating your action plan is going to make your life a lot easier for this task. So make sure you've considered what your end goal will be before you take on the rest of your action plan. Now you'll notice that the template for the action plan has been divided into columns and rows, and this is to make it easier for you to create your action plan. So we're breaking each step down. Now the idea is that this is an action plan that you can refer back to in months or years to come to check your own progress. So what I'd suggest you do is that you fill in the first box so where it says what are my big goals, highlighting what your end goal is. The next box is asking you to put the steps into order of priority. So this end goal is going to be the end step. So you don't need to worry about numbering it just yet. I'd leave that till the end. Column 3 is asking you for a deadline. Now this doesn't have to be a very specific date, but it's a good idea to have a rough or general idea for when you wanted to achieve this goal by. So this could be a year, or in terms of time, you could be talking about 10 years time, or it could be when you reach a particular age. Column 4 asks you to look at possible obstructions. So this is getting you to think about and preempt anything that might stop you from achieving that goal or slow you down. Now this could be a wide range of things. So for example, if your end goal was to open up a restaurant in your local area, a possible obstruction could be that no relevant facilities are available in your local area. It might be that you can't rent a premises that's suitable in that area. Column 5 asks you to think about how you would improve your chances. So if, for example, in that last scenario, there wasn't a suitable premises for you to rent in your local area, but you still wanted to go ahead and start your business, one way you could overcome that is to look in other areas. You might still be able to achieve your goal, you've just had to adapt a little and move to a different area. Column number 6, where's my support? This is quite an important one. Now, it's important that you have people around you that you can go to for advice, guidance, and maybe just reassurance, but also knowing what organisations you could contact for further support is a good idea. For example, if you were looking to open up your own business and you knew that you needed to get some financial help, one of the areas or one of the organisations you might be able to go to for advice is the local banks, where they would have financial advisors who could give you real good guidance in the area that you need it. Now this last column, the review, how am I doing, doesn't have to be completed yet. You may remember I said earlier in the tutorial that this is an action plan for you to refer back to in future. So it might be in a few months' time or it might be in a few years' time. But it really is a good idea to keep this action plan if this is how you want to progress with your own career, and refer back to the goals and see how you're progressing through them. You might surprise yourself and notice that you're working ahead of your schedule. Other examples of ways you can fill this action plan in and some of the goals that you might need to highlight are as follows. So for example, the very first goal that you're already working towards, if you're watching this tutorial, is this level 2 qualification. So one of your goals could be to successfully complete this level 2 qualification. This is going to give you a good step to the next steps. In terms of The deadline, well, you know what your deadline is for your course if you're working towards that original 2-year gap. Some people are working to a 1-year deadline, so you might need to move that forward a little bit. In terms of obstacles, obstacles could be that you're struggling to meet deadlines, for example, or you can't get hold of certain materials or ingredients. This might slow you down. One way of overcoming this is to work ahead of schedule and try and get in front of yourself rather than leaving things to the last minute. Where you can go to support would be your parents, maybe. Could also be me as your tutor or assessor. Not every target or goal has to be centred solely around your craft. It could be, for example, that you're considering your options in terms of where you work. So if you are stuck to working only in your local area, you are reducing your options. So another good goal could be to pass your driving test and to be able to save up enough money to purchase your own car. This would give you freedom to then travel and then open up your opportunities a little bit more.